The drama about to begin, and right now, for the introduction of the starting lineups, here's the public address announcer, Lawrence Tanter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Great Western Forum here in Inglewood, California.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Staples Center, the sports and entertainment center of the world, for the 2000 NBA playoffs.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Merry Christmas. Welcome to Crypto.com Arena, the sports and entertainment center of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please welcome the Honor Guard from the Los Angeles Air Force Base. And now tonight's presentation of our national anthem is being performed by singer, songwriter, saxophonist J.B. Sax. And now to honor our country with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome back pop superstar, 5-time Grammy Award winner, Christina Aguilera.
I think about so many experiences that I've had, the championship year, the whole ambiance with the Celtics.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the forum for Game 6 of the 1987 NBA Finals.
In the 80s was like none other that I can ever compare to.
What was your most memorable moment as Laker PA announcer at the forum?
1983 All-Star Game, Marvin Gaye.
Hey, can you see?
Marvin's national anthem still resonates with me as one of the historic moments in my life.
And now, for the Western Conference champion, Los Angeles Lakers.
And now, on your feet, time to greet the starting lineup for the Western Conference champions.
Oh, celebrating their 65th year in Southern California, 77th year in the NBA, a franchise with 17 NBA titles, the most wins in NBA history, the home team, the defending back-to-back NBA world champions, your Los Angeles Lakers. At guard, in his 9th year out of Michigan State, at 6'9", number 32, Irvin Magic Johnson. And at center, the captain, in his 19th year out of UCLA, at 7'2", number 33, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Number 34, 7'1", his 8th year from LSU, Shaquille O'Neal.
The other forward, 7 feet from Spain, number 16, Pau Gasol.
Number 3, 6'10", his 8th year out of Kentucky, Anthony Davis. Number 23, 6'9", his 17th campaign from St. Vincent St. Mary's High School, LeBron James.
The other guard, number 77, 6'8", 8th year from Slovenia, Luka Doncic. The other guard, number 8, 6'7", in his 4th season from Laurel Marion High School.
And the other forward for the final time, number 24 on the floor, 6'6", High School, 5-time world champion,
Kobe Bryant.
That you have seen some of the things that people only hear or read about as far as the Lakers are concerned.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel very blessed, very honored, humble to be in this position for these many years. I can't explain it in words. I'm just very, very blessed and very happy.
All right, lace them up, sports. Let's go.
Let's go.
Will somebody tell me if we're supposed to start the program? Freeman hits the ball to right field. Into right field. She is done. Oh, what a pass. Doncic, perfection there on the assist. A little magic from Doncic. Stafford takes the shoulder, takes a shot downfield. It is caught by Nacua. He picked him on his shoulder and made the catch. One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Tipped up and in. Will it count? LeBron James at the buzzer.
This game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed. The lights out.
Butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the jello is jiggling.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the LA Sports Roundup podcast. I am your host, Mike Andrade, sitting here recording Friday, June 19th, 2026. I was going to say 16, but it's 2026. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are having a great week. It is Juneteenth, the holiday. Hope you guys are spending it well with your family. If you're working, you're not working, wherever you may be, I hope you guys are enjoying listening to this podcast. Loads to get into today, guys. I know it's been quite a while since I recorded. Guys, if you haven't heard our sit-down interview, well, not really sit-down, but Zoom interview, I did one with Sammy from the Dodger Buzz. Guys, that podcast, that interview is still in the archives. It's recent. You guys can just go and look it up. We did about an hour almost, just talking about the Dodgers, talking about live, talking about social media influencing. Guys, Dodger fans, check it out. She does the Dodger Buzz. Check out her podcast. It was a really, really cool interview, and hopefully we can do something like that similar coming up again. Also, guys, make sure you can follow us on all of our social medias at Lace 'em Up Sports. Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram, on YouTube. Again, if you're listening to this, you already know, on Spotify. You can listen however many times you want in many different ways. You can follow us, stalk us, like I said before, be that ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, wherever you may have fallen in line. So some of us have had that in our lives, but I want you to stalk our social media and give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and let's up our numbers. So as you guys heard at the top of the podcast, I made a special montage to Lawrence Tanter, the legendary PA announcer of the Lakers for 43 years. Lawrence Tanter has decided to step away from the booth, step away from the broadcasting table, and he's going to enjoy his retirement after 43 years as the Lakers public address announcer. I mean, when people think about the Lakers, they think about the banners, they think about the championships, the superstars, and they think about the iconic voice that was Lawrence Tanter. If you're a longtime Lakers fan, obviously you know the name Chick Hearn, the legendary TV and radio voice of the Lakers for decades. Obviously, Chick Hearn has passed away. Maybe this is close to almost 30 years that Chick Hearn has passed away. Maybe 25 years around there. Anyways, there's definitely an audience that hasn't grown with Chick Hearn like many old school Laker fans have. But Lawrence Tanter has been that very low baritone voice that you hear throughout the arena. The in-game announcer. That's Lawrence Tanter. When every time when you hear Luka Doncic, or obviously when we heard Kobe Bryant, that was Lawrence Tanter, that iconic voice, and he has been doing it since the early 80s. In fact, his first season as the Lakers public address announcer was the 1982-83 season, and he had been the longest-running PA announcer in the NBA. Lawrence Tanter wasn't just an employee with the Lakers. He was a fabric of the Lakers, a fabric of public address announcing in sports. You take many, many examples of what public address announcers are today, and, Lawrence Tanter set the foundation for what they could become. But throughout the years, Lawrence Tanter had really just maintained his presence by maintaining that low baritonic tone in his public address announcing. You think about all these public address announcers today, majority of them are loud, obnoxious, aggressive in the way they announce. Lawrence Tanter has had class. He's had a lot of jazz in the way his public address announcing is. It's very, like my mom used to call him, like whenever I used to watch Laker games, I used to listen to Laker games on the radio because we couldn't afford cable. So I'd always have the radio on when the Lakers were playing because they were always on cable when I was a kid, and the road games were on free TV. So any home game, I was listening to the radio. So my mom would walk by and she goes, "God is speaking." That's Lawrence Tanter. The way he would just enunciate, the way he would just present himself, it was with class. And a lot of these public address announcers today don't have that flair. It's all about the aggression of how they present themselves, and that's not Lawrence Tanter. And I feel like that's what made Lawrence Tanter just separate himself from the good ones to the great ones. And Lawrence Tanter was the best public address announcer in sports history, I believe. He had a jazz background. I think he When I interviewed Todd Lights, the public address announcer for the Dodgers, I believe he said that Lawrence Tanner ran a jazz radio station. And you could feel it. You could hear it in the way he announced. And for nearly 40 decades, no, not nearly, over 40 decades, Lawrence Tanner maintained that class, that jazz, in the way he presented himself with his public announcing. So many iconic moments, so many iconic names that he was able to announce. And Lawrence Tanner was a part of 9 NBA championship teams for the Lakers. An incredible amount of success for Lawrence Tanner. And there will be nobody like him. And honestly, he deserves to just enjoy his retirement, enjoy everything he has, because he has worked so hard to just continue his legacy the way it has, and it'll always be something that Laker fans will always remember. There was Lawrence Tanner announcing all the great moments, and one thing that really stood out for me is when, tragically, Kobe Bryant passed away in 2020, and Lawrence Tanner had the duty to carry the pregame tribute to Kobe and all the people that passed away on that day, and it was really heartfelt. It was really heavy, and Lawrence Tanner, he did it with class, and that's something I'll always remember. And I'll remember him introducing every Lakers player in the starting lineup as Kobe Bryant that day, and he did an amazing job. And so, Lawrence Tanner obviously is one of the greats for many, many reasons. And hey, wishing you well, wishing you all the best in your retirement, Lawrence, and you will always be missed. And it sucks that you weren't able to carry out the rest of the season because of an illness, but you know what, Jason did a good job. I believe his name is Jason Beccaro. He's done a good job, and hopefully Jason can carry out your legacy going forward. And if it's not Jason, hopefully it's somebody that can be able to do the job adequately. But in LA sports history, you're going to have Vin Scully, you're going to have Chick Hearn, Stu Lantz, and you're going to have Lawrence Tanner as the all-time greats when it comes to LA sports broadcasting. But enough about the past. We're here to talk about the present, and currently presented, the Lakers are in the midst of trying to decide what they're going to do for their number 25 pick in this year's NBA draft. The Lakers have their first round draft pick, and the Lakers have some decisions to make, whether they want to keep that pick, whether they want to trade it away in a possible trade somehow, somewhere. But a lot of decisions have to be made in terms of that number 25 pick, and also trying to find a player that is pretty much almost ready to play right off the bat. The Lakers had a great pick last year in the second round last year with Adu Thiero, but he wasn't ready. But although we did see some glimpses of what Adu Thiero could do when Coach J.J. Redick put him in the, I believe it was like games 3 and 4 of the Oklahoma City series where we got swept. Thiero had some nice looking plays, but again, still, I'm not even sure if Adu Thiero will be in the rotation next year. And so the Lakers really needed to find a player that really can contribute right off the bat. Also, we thought we had it with Dalton Connect, and I'm not even going to begin to talk about Dalton Connect because of how much promise he had and what it's turned into. But through Silver Screen and Roll, the Lakers fan website here, they put up some players here through the number 25 pick that maybe the Lakers have some interest in. First off is Henry Vassar. He's a center. We'll talk about the center position going forward for the Lakers in a little bit. But through Silver Screen and Roll, they said that Vassar has been a player connected with the Lakers in previous mock drafts. The reasons are simple. He's an explosive center, and LA needs to find as much help in the front court as they can find. And then we have Zuby Ejiofor, a forward from St. John's, listed over here on Silver Screen and Roll. Ejiofor improved every single year at St. John's and averaged 16.3 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists per game in his senior season, and he was also a defensive force, averaging 2.1 blocks and 1.3 steals per game in the Big East. Honestly, as much as the Lakers need a center right now, a young center, having somebody like Ejiofor, a defensive-minded forward, wing guy that is not afraid to defend, not afraid to put his body on the line, getting rebounds, and just being a defensive force, that's something really the Lakers need, if not more than a center, I believe. So Zuby Ejiofor, I feel like the Lakers must have their eye peeled on this guy, because I think that's something that you have to have in today's NBA. Look at the San Antonio Spurs. Look at how they have so many guys that can fill that role. Ejiofor can be that guy for the Lakers, I believe. And then we have Zaylen Swain, a forward from Texas. Listed here on silverscreenandroll.com. It says, there's another player from the South who could be a good pick for LA. Swain from Texas. The Longhorn averaged 17.3 points per game and 7.5 rebounds in his only year at Texas. Given his offensive outbursts and his 54.2 shooting from the field, he's an intriguing prospect. I believe so, definitely. He's an intriguing prospect. I mean, that offensive burst definitely is something you really, really need in today's NBA. Being able to shoot 54.2 from the field, that is an incredible clip right there. And so you add that to the Lakers offense, that's a guy that can really stretch the floor for the Lakers in multiple different ways, averaging 17.3 points in college, and then also 7.5 rebounds. He can make his impact on the floor as well. So the Lakers have their eyes peeled on someone else the Lakers are looking at, and it may not be talked about right now because the Lakers are very guard heavy, but Christian Anderson, a guard from Texas, the Lakers could have their eyes peeled on him as well. From Silver Screen and Roll, it says the Lakers have a clear need for front court players, but it's typically the best bet where you want to take the best available player in the draft, and that may be very well Anderson from Texas Tech. He averaged 18.5 points per game, and he did so in about 38 minutes per game as well. So he's an offensive powerhouse, this guy, but my concern is, well, he's a guard, and we've seen this from guys like Gabe Vincent and many others where they're just offensively focused and there's no defense. And so out of all these guys that I just mentioned, I feel like Anderson wouldn't be the best bet. I feel like, honestly, Zuby Ejiofor, that's the one I'm really looking at right now. Out of St. John, Zuby Ejiofor. If we can have him at that 25th selection, I think that would be great for the Lakers at this point. But we'll see. We'll see what comes up in the draft. This year's NBA draft is coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe, on the 23rd and 24th. And so coming up right away, and we'll see where the Lakers end up at and who they get. Now, moving off of the NBA draft, free agency is coming, and the Lakers have some big decisions to make in terms of how the roster is constructed, how the roster looks next year, evolving all around Luka Doncic. And look, I've said it in the past, I want wholesale changes. I want the Lakers to be able to come into next season and the roster looks different, it's structured different, it's structured into a team where you look at it and you say, man, this team can compete. Now look, I know that's pie in the sky, right? I know that's looking at it with kind of rose-colored goggles, but that's what I want as a Lakers fan, and I think that's what every Lakers fan wants. And what does it all come down to, though? As everybody knows, it always comes down to the money. Now, there's a lot of different roads that the Lakers can go to, but a road that I would love to see is obviously bringing back Austin Reeves, not on a full max, but a semi-max contract. Also bringing back Rui Hachimura, on a decent contract. And then, look, I have been a proclaimer to ending the LeBron James era here in LA. I think it's time to cut the cord. It is time to refresh the Lakers organization. It is time for us to compete in different ways without relying on LeBron James. But it just seems like the Lakers organization and LeBron James, it always seems like they're heading for a divorce, but it seems like last minute we kind of just rekindle with LeBron, and it just seems like it's heading that way again. Because David McMenamin reported that the Lakers and LeBron James are beginning to talk about bringing LeBron James back into the fold with the Lakers and extending his contract, re-signing him on a new contract that'll bring him in for his 24th NBA season. Now, I think it's pretty apparent to everybody involved here that LeBron James is not, and I repeat, is not going to get a full $50 million contract from the Lakers. Those days are gone, and I don't think he's going to get that from any team going forward. He's not going to get that from the Lakers. He's not going to get that from the Cavaliers. He's not going to get that from the Knicks or the Golden State Warriors. He's not going to get that anywhere. So $50 million, like that full amount of max money for LeBron James, it's done. That's never going to happen for him again. As long as he keeps playing, it's not going to happen. Now, could LeBron James sit here and demand $30 million for the season? Yeah, he can. Could he sit here and demand $20 million for a season? Yeah, he can. Right? And that's still going to be a huge burden for the Lakers' financial flexibility. As Rob Pelinka called it, what do you call it? Optionality? It's going to hurt their optionality even if he demands a $30 to $20 million contract for apparently just one season. Because even though he hasn't announced it yet, I think everybody kind of also knows that this is going to be LeBron James' final season in the NBA. I think he's going to announce that his retirement is upon us. I think he's going to announce that is going to be his final year, and he wants that celebration. He wants for the NBA to celebrate his career and get that Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retirement ceremony in every road game that he goes to. LeBron James, he craves that. All right, don't listen to anybody telling you that he doesn't, because he does. LeBron James wants that ceremonious retirement celebration, right? And so he's gonna get that. And the Lakers, there's an argument to be said that the Lakers could use that for their own financial gain, right? Using the LeBron James retirement tour for their own financial flexibility, and it does get ratings, it gets eyeballs on the Lakers, it gets all of that. Right? But like what I've been saying before, it's time to cut the cord. But it just seems like that's not going to happen. So if LeBron James is going to come back to the Lakers, if the Lakers are going to welcome back LeBron James, which it seems like they are, right? It has to be at a contract where the optionality has to benefit the Lakers first and foremost more than anybody. Optionality is the key word here. And so I've come up with a little bit of a structural plan for the Lakers, a financial structural plan, and where they could offer these guys a fair amount of money and also keep the financial flexibility, the optionality on their side. And so I'm going to propose this. If the Lakers could get these deals done, I think they would be in a very surprisingly strong financial position. I would offer Austin Reeves, 4 years, $160 million. And it starts around $35 to $36 million a year, right? And I think that's going to be a much pay increase for Austin Reeves, and that's not offering him the max. Also, I'm going to offer LeBron James 1+1 here. If he wants to retire at the end of the year, he can do that. But if he wants to continue to play in his 25th season with the Lakers, he could opt out. He could opt out for sure, but if he wants to play his 25th season next season with the Lakers, it would be at $20 million annually. So, not getting his full $50 million, but getting his $20 million. And I think that's a fair deal for LeBron James, bringing him back, and that honors his legacy, honors who he is, honors what he's done for the Lakers organization, but it's also keeping the financial flexibility around. I would also bring back Rui Hachimura at 2 years, $15 million, and about $7.5 million annually. And I would bring back Jackson Hayes, our backup center, 2 years, $10 million total. So about $5 million annually. And with that, with the current roster, you'd have Luka making $50 million, Austin making $36 million, LeBron making $20 million. You'd have Rui Hachimura making $7.5 million, Jared Vanderbilt still making $12 million. I feel like that $12 million, man, that is wasted money right there, man, for what Jared Vanderbilt's production is now compared to what it was when he signed that contract 3 years ago. But let's see here, $4.2 million for Dalton Connect, $2.3 million for Bronny James, $5 million for Jackson Hayes, and that leaves about 5 to 6 roster spots in total, and that would roughly leave the Lakers about about $18 to $21 million below the salary cap, and they would be $55 million plus below the tax line. So that would be in the Lakers' benefit as well. And they could use that cap space, $18 to $20 million, to go after a starting center. Luka Doncic just made it known that he wants an A-list caliber center. I don't know if you're going to get A-list, but that's definitely something, we can wish for. Also, you got to keep in mind, too, and I haven't mentioned this, DeAndre Ayton has an option. So we don't know if DeAndre Ayton's going to he's going to buy into his option or he's going to decline it. That's still yet to be determined as I'm recording this podcast. But let's say he buys into his contract. He opts into his contract here. So he's making about $16 million total. So that would be about $8 million added to the salary cap. So the Lakers' financial optionality would be taken from there if DeAndre Ayton were to opt in. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think DeAndre Ayton does opt into his contract, so we'll keep that in mind. But let's see here. They could also use that money to have another two-way wing, which we desperately need, and another high-level role player. And so a guy that can also shoot and play defense and, do exactly what the Lakers need from them. Without getting too much into it, those are just a lot of roads that the Lakers could really go down right now. And so we'll see. I believe it's July 1st or 2nd. That's when free agency starts, and we'll see what comes together for the Lakers going forward. All right, switching on over now to some Rams news. Some not great news coming out of the Rams camp here. Rams guard Alaric Jackson won't face any felony charges in an arrest on suspicion of domestic battery. This is from NBC.com. Los Angeles Rams offensive lineman Alaric Jackson will not face felony charges in connection with his arrest on suspicion of domestic battery earlier this month in his San Fernando Valley home. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office said that the case was sent to the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office for possible misdemeanor charges. The city's attorney office said the case is under review. The 6'7", 338-pound offensive lineman was arrested around 11 p.m. on June 9th after police were called into his home. When police arrived, they learned that Jackson and a woman had gotten into a verbal argument. This is not the first time that I believe that Alaric Jackson has gotten in trouble. In November 2025, Jackson was named in a civil lawsuit filed in the LA Superior Court by a woman who alleged he recorded her without her consent during sex and refused to delete the video despite her request. The plaintiff claimed that Jackson recorded her without her consent in May of 2024, reported the incident to the NFL, and the league subsequently suspended him for 2 games under its personal conduct policy for an undisclosed violation later linked to the suit's allegations. Yeah, so this is not the first time he's been in trouble, and honestly, if this is a pattern for this guy, as talented as he is, if this is a pattern, then this is not somebody that the Rams want to be associated with. You can't. This is 2 strikes now. The 3rd strike will not be good for Alaric Jackson. It does not matter how talented you are. You keep messing up like this and really getting yourself into trouble. That 3rd strike will be a final strike for Alaric Jackson, and he will not be, he'll be cut, and it's going to be hard for him to get on a team knowing he has a pass like this because you can't depend on him, and he's going to make your team look bad. And so this is something the Rams need to just keep their eyes on, hold him accountable for sure, and we'll see what happens with Alaric Jackson. But this is not good. The Rams have done a lot of good things this offseason, and they have made a lot of big signings. And so getting rid of Alaric Jackson, if need be, it probably won't be the worst thing for the Rams. In other news and notes, something that could be potentially impacting the Rams, as much as they've done really great this offseason, another big thing that could be potentially impacting them is a potential holdout on Puka Nacua and his contract status. Nacua has not signed an extension yet from the Rams, and it could be because of what has been going on with Nacua off the field. There was an off the field incident where Nacua bit a woman, and that was completely crazy in itself. Nacua went to rehab. He's been getting better from it. So it could be something in that regard where the Rams really just want to see Nacua pay attention and focus on himself first rather than focusing on a contract extension. It's going to come. Nacua is that talented of a player where the Rams are going to want to keep him under contract for a long time. I mean, he is coming off another great season. And this is a season also where lots of receivers are getting contract extensions. From Seattle, you have JSN, who just got a contract extension with the with the Seattle Seahawks. I was going to call them Supersonics. The Seahawks. But he just got a 4-year, $168 million deal. And the Rams have been paying players left and right to come in. And so, could we see Puka Nacua hold out on his contract before the season starts? We'll see. Other guys like Drake London, Christian Watson, Rashid Shaheed, and others have been getting paid this season. So, it'll be interesting to see if and when Puka Nacua gets paid on his extension as well. And the question every Rams fan is asking themselves this offseason is the possibility of Aaron Donald. Could Aaron Donald come out of retirement and join Myles Garrett on that defensive line for this year's Los Angeles Rams? Myles Garrett has come out publicly and said that he's not working to convince the former Rams star Aaron Donald to come out of retirement because he wants Donald to make that decision on his own. He said, I don't want to press him. Garrett was on the New Heights podcast where he was asked about the situation with Aaron Donald, and he said, I don't want to press him because I want him to find that spark. And Garrett continued, he walked away from the game feeling so fulfilled, just like, man, I've done everything. I've won everything. I beat everybody. And it's like, all right, I don't need that anymore. Those are words from Myles Garrett. But Garrett also said if Donald looks up and he's like, I might need another one. And he's like, MG, speaking of Myles Garrett, you want to run it? Sure, why not? Look, everybody would love to run it with Aaron Donald. My grandma from the grave would like to run it with Aaron Donald. But it's going to be his decision to make. I don't want to get too much into this because this is all just rumor and speculation, and we truly don't know if Aaron Donald is going to come back out of retirement. Gun to head, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. And Aaron Donald, this is too good of an opportunity for him to pass on. And if he doesn't come out of retirement this year, he's never going to. It's not going to happen, Rams fan. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry to say, if he does not come out of retirement this year, Rams fans, it's not going to happen. Plain and simple. Not going to happen. So, this is the time for Aaron Donald to make that decision. It just truly depends on how much he really wants to get another Super Bowl. And certainly the Rams are the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year, back at SoFi Stadium. But alright, you guys. That's going to conclude today's podcast. I want to thank you guys again for joining in on today's LA Sports Roundup podcast. You can join us again on another one next week. We're going to be covering what happened in the NBA draft and all the other LA sports rumors and topics going on. We're going to be having a big discussion about what the Dodgers need going into the All-Star break and possibly the trade deadline. Could the Dodgers actually acquire Tarek Skubal from the Detroit Tigers? It's talked about. Man, that would light the baseball world on fire if the Dodgers were to be able to get the best pitcher in the game today. Put him up with Ohtani, put him up with Yamamoto. That would be exciting. But we're going to be talking about all that next week, guys. Again, thank you guys for coming on, and we'll see you guys on another one.